Hey everybody, it's Terenzo here. Today we're playing Superior Soldiers. You can try to read the story there if you want. It's pretty bad. It's pretty much just an excuse for cyborg people to kill each other, I think. This game was released as Perfect Soldiers in Japan. They changed it to Superior Soldiers for the US release for some reason. You'll notice that Irem, who made, or Irem, however you want to say it, that made the R-Type series and also the underlooked X Multiply made this game. So it's very typical of 90s Street Fighter II knockoffs that are bad. It has some semi-interesting characters, but the CPU is just absolutely brutal unless you know the trick to it, which is what I hope to show you in this video. Very unforgiving. If you can even make it to level 2, it just gets impossible to think about winning without exploiting the CPU, because they just will have an answer for every single thing you do, and there's no real way to beat them without playing around with their AI a little bit. But anyway, let's jump right into it. Like I said, I'm going to be showing you how to beat the game. Now, two of the characters you see on the screen are Arabian Moon and Saber, Saber is kind of like the Ryu or Ken. He's got the uppercut, he's got a kick move, and he's got a fireball. And he's kind of like who you would think you would want to pick. But actually, the easiest character I've found to beat the game with is Satinsect, who is probably the biggest, dumbest looking character of them all. I mean, if you had to guess, you would say that he was the one you wanted to pick the least, because like, oh, he's kind of like Kane or Santana in Survival Arts. He's huge, he has a big hitbox, he's slow, you know, he doesn't have a projectile. You would think that he would be the one to avoid, but actually he's probably the best character to beat this game with. I would not be surprised, and I could be setting myself up for a fall, I would not be surprised if we managed to get a double perfect on the boss, just because of how easy it is to beat the game with him. It has been a while since I played this, just kind of at random decided to do this little tutorial let's play, so I could embarrass myself, but let's see. Arabian Moon is probably not the character I would have liked to have started with. She's one of the harder ones to beat, but at least we'll get her out of the way early. So, the first thing you got to know about Satinsect is what his moves are. He doesn't really have a whole lot of specials. His biggest strengths are his range and his pokes. He has great pokes. And it's kind of hard to explain trying to keep up. I get a little leeway here because it's the first match, so some of these pokes that normally wouldn't work against Arabian Moon work. But you just kind of have to use the range to your advantage. He also has two special moves, one of which is like a M. Bison Psycho Crusher, I guess, and the other is called a Stain Crash. It's command throw. But if you saw that, he has this dunk-like move, which is forward and medium punch. This move just throws the CPU for a loop. They have absolutely no idea what to do against this thing. And like I said, I get a little leeway because it's stage 1. Normally, Arabian Moon is a gigantic pain in the butt. But the best thing to do is just kind of stay back from her. Wait till she rushes at you with one of these attacks and try to poke her out. And if you can get some basketball dunks in, that's great too. You have to be careful when you're advancing not to charge, because you have dash attacks are a big thing in this game. If you dash into the CPU, 9 times out of 10 they're going to throw you. Throws in this game, like you might expect, do a lot of damage and they take up a lot of time, so they're really annoying. That was an excellent Arabian Moon fight. It looks like we're going to fight Meltdown. Hopefully he won't win a round, but if he does, I want you to listen to what you think he's saying during his victory quote. But Meltdown is ridiculously easy to beat as Satinsect. You just kind of walk forward and do this. Then you run up Stain Crash, which is forward in all 3 punches. I have no idea why the CPU has no idea how to avoid that attack. Alright, here we go, round 2. That's my other move. That move's kind of good if you want to push an opponent into the corner. It also will go above certain attacks, like his little ground fire move there. The problem is, as you get to harder difficulties, he'll just wait on you and throw you rather than try to do that. Also, you don't poke as fast as you think you do, so sometimes the CPU can sneak in an attack there. But I can try to do this, or I can just do this. Just basketball dunk him. Dead. No problem at all. Meltdown is probably one of the hardest people to beat if you're playing as like Saber, who's the only other person I've ever beaten this game with. And that was very difficult. Still have to exploit the CPU, just you have to kind of do it differently. Reptilian can be kind of a pain if you don't know what to do. This is more of a, you kind of want to go on the defense, because if you do too many basketball dunks and whiff, he's going to start charging at you. The fire breath is kind of what you want him to do, because you can get actually above him and your attack will hit. Like that. So basically it's the same thing, the basketball dunk, except you want to put more aerials in there. And if you do it from the right range, he'll almost always try his fire attack. Very nice. The music in this game's kind of goofy, but I like most of it. Second round, he starts using the fire breath, and he also has a attack kind of like Blanca, where he flies across the screen. It's actually probably more dangerous than the fire. Nothing to it. Here's Bushido. Other than Arabian Moon, he's probably the hardest guy to fight in the game. I don't know anything about like what a competitive tier list for this game would look like, but I had to guess this guy would be towards the top because of that move right there. Just the range on that thing is insane. His projectile hits on the ground. You just kind of had to trick him into this little cycle. And it looks like I'm safe jumping like that, but it's actually not. There's a small chance he'll throw you. Fortunately, we were able to lock him down and put him away pretty quickly there. I still have no idea what the frick Satinsect is supposed to be. I mean, he's probably one of the most ridiculous character designs I've ever seen. Character designs are pretty lame for this game, unfortunately. But it's kind of like, if you've seen my Survival Arts review, I pointed out that the Japanese release had this poster that had like all the characters from Survival Arts, but like they all look really cool actually. And this game's kind of the same way. If you look up the poster for this game, like all the characters look like something, you know, out of an anime, or actually looks very similar to Captain Commando from Capcom, if you've ever seen that. Alright, fortunately we got by that without too much trouble. Alright, now here's another interesting fight. Satinsect is usually very easy to beat unless you're playing a Satinsect, because he has that insane range that you do. Fortunately, the AI is not as smart, and you can usually outpoke him. I'm okay trading a few hits with him, but the CPU usually ends up on the winning edge of that if you don't go in with a health lead to begin with. We barely won that one. You gotta watch out for those dash attacks in there. Got him. Very nice. So who do we have left? Star Saber? Fortunately, Star Saber is very easy to beat. Oh, Star Saber and Caddock, which I'm actually kind of worried about because I always have trouble against her. Star Saber is just Ryu or Ken. If you can get around the Moon Cannon spam, he's usually not that hard. Just kind of have to... Again, you have to be careful to not dash because its joystick's extremely receptive to dashing. Like you're just trying to get yourself to go forward, but it thinks you want to dash. He does have that you have to watch out for. Fortunately, he doesn't do it just a whole lot. And the basketball dunk is safe if you can get close enough without getting moon cannoned. So wonder I didn't get thrown there. And he got me. Great. Well, let's see if I can mess this one up too. I would love to stun him and just finish this off with a stain crash. So apparently it's just worth to tank the moon cannons and just walk up and smash him a few times. Alright, next is Caddock. And I may very well take back what I said about the Bushido being one of the more difficult ones. She's very dangerous, very annoying. The problem is not so much these swipe kicks, which do have good range, but she has attack where she spins along the floor, which is very confusing to tell where she's at. We got lucky with a stun there, and you can do a... That move is actually not stain crash, it's chain stomping is the name of that, it's a command throw. Stain crash is his Psycho Crusher move, which I doubt if I'll get a chance to show you. Since this strategy is working so well, we're just going to keep using it. At this point, I'm willing to trade hits with her because I probably won on health. The CPU in this game has almost no variability at all. In fact, you can just, the last boss is Star Saber. Sometimes what I do is get a life lead and then just squat down and punch as he walks toward me. Because he'll just do it over and over until the time runs out. He won't ever try anything new. So if you manage to beat all those guys and you make it here, you're pretty much done because you'll see how easy it is to beat the final boss with this guy. Alright, so this is Skull Reaper. He has a few dangerous attacks. Fortunately, he won't get a chance to use any of them. As we're just going to mercilessly beat the crap out of him and go on with our day. Like I said, the CPU's not going to change patterns, it's just going to walk straight up towards you. If you try to move around and do some other stuff, you're likely to get shot with his R-type beam. It's kind of a spiral helix thing, which hits multiple times if you block it. It's kind of funny because it's almost better for the opponent to block it because they take chip damage for several hits, whereas if you hit them with it, they get knocked down and they only take a little bit of damage. Oh, he got me with a kick, but that's alright. Not the double perfect I hoped for, but that's it. You know, that's the whole game. Lost one round. That's not bad at all. So there you have it. That's Superior Soldiers. That's pretty much how it's done. If you want to beat this game, just kind of go back and watch. The only thing you might have a little trouble with is Arabian Moon on a harder stage than Stage 1, because she's going to fly around a lot more. The big thing is to not get aggressive with her, but wait for her to do something that you can either jump over and attack, or you can poke. The air basketball dunk is probably the best thing. Just wait till she kicks and then does that little rapid fire kick and jump over it and attack down. You shouldn't have much trouble. If anything, just get a life lead and poke her into the corner and you'll be fine. I like how there's this little ominous game over sound after the nice little credit music here. Also, that face is absolutely ridiculous. Thanks for watching, guys. Tune in next time.